We have breaking news to bring you. This is a school shooting here in North Texas.
A Wilmer Hutchins High School student is recovering after being shot by another student.
We cannot allow fear to dictate our lives.
We must use this tragedy to learn something.
Dwayne Caraway, The Other Side with DC. Share, like, and make sure you send it everywhere. Subscribe. I'm here with Jason Whiteley of WFAA Channel 8, my very favorite television station. And I'm with my favorite news reporter, Jason Whiteley, inside Texas politics and y'all the ticks and all the other ticks that he does. And Trustee Maxie Johnson. Maxie, welcome again to The Other Side.
Brother Bear, appreciate being here.
All right. And Maxie, you're here, and you're doing such a great job. Let's talk about Wilmer Hutchins and the shooting, because you are working with that. What's the status? I wanted Jason to kind of hear it. He can chime in on what need to happen in short and what we need to do. What's going on?
Of course, we know that we had a school shooting. It's been all over the news. And that was very, very surprising that it actually happened. So right now, we're waiting on the Superintendent of Dallas High, the administration, to get with us on this Thursday to give us a full debriefing of how the gun got in the school, what happened, and the next steps that the administration is going to take concerning this matter.
Jason, will you all be there, or will y'all have a camera there?
Yeah. Now that I'm hearing all about it, is this at the regular meeting?
It's going to be in a closed session.
Closed session. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be in a closed session. I'm sure that she's preparing a statement.
How'd the gun get in there? Do you know?
That's what we're trying to find out.
Because their metal detectors are there. There's all students go through that, right?
And that's what we're trying to find out. It's baffling me how it happened. That's the $1 million question. That's what my community is asking me. That's what I'm asking the administration. That's what the news outlet is asking all of us. Excuse me. So for me, I don't like not having answers. I need answers.
You'll be able to tell them on Thursday?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the superintendent will be able to say something. Again, I'm pretty sure they're preparing a statement, but we need to know how this happened, and the next step is good. And the next steps the administration is going to take. But I will say this, that this is a statewide issue, and our governor, Texas governor, Greg Abbott, has given unfunded and underfunded mandates on public education. And he's not funding safety and security. He's not funding public education because he is so obsessed with vouchers that he says, if I don't get my way, I'm just not going to make no way for kids. So he's failing kids because he refused to fund public education. We got a $15 million money that's missing for public education. He needs to fund it. He is not funding public education because he wants vouchers.
Well, let me ask you this. It goes back to how the gun got in there. Were the people, they had to come to metal detectors, correct?
Correct.
Metal detectors were working?
Yes, sir. From my understanding.
Were they being manned?
From my understanding, when I went the next day after the gun, every school I go to, I see, and we call it intake. When our kids come in the morning, we take them in. I see trained individuals, educators that's on the metal detectors. Now, in some instances, we're trying to ask, have everybody been trained? That's the first thing I ask. Who's on the metal detectors? Have they been trained? Administration said they've been trained. We've been asking for command centers. We've had several meetings in the community with administration requesting certain things. And so this is something I've been very vocal about.
Well, do y'all have cameras aimed right at the front door?
We have cameras.
So you can go back to see, can you?
Absolutely.
I'm just asking, you can go back and track who came in and who's not there and who left the post and something.
Do educators man those? Trained teachers? Or?
Some educators, some trained educators man those. But again, we need security.
Yeah.
We need professional people who
know what to look for. Yeah.
Yeah. But what Dallas has done is we've went into the budget with the board of trustees. They brought it to the board of trustees, and we have approved funding to make sure that we get the securities that we need. Even though the governor is not funding public education, the board has went in and made sure that we give funding to help with our safety and security. But again, this is a statewide and nationwide issue. And you would think that Governor Abbott would have been was funded, especially after we've experienced Uvalde, right? That was a very, very serious matter. But it's like he doesn't care about public education. He only cares about what he wants, and that's vouchers.
Well, let me just ask this, and Jason, I'm gonna ask you this. Remember when the lottery, and I've been saying this, and I'm going to say it again, when we passed the lottery to have the lottery years ago,
For education.
where's the money?
Oh.
That's what
that's a
I'd
good
like for
question.
you to find out
Yeah.
on y'all ticks and
That's a good question.
and inside Texas politics. That's political.
Yeah.
Where is the money from the lottery?
The,
Because it was aimed toward education.
they have $33 million a surplus, my understanding, maybe billion.
It's billion,
but
yeah,
$33 billion surplus, and public education have not received none of it.
Well, y'all need to look into it. I mean, you're saying you need something, and we had the lack of, and you know, it's always follow the money. What happened? The voters voted for the lottery, and it was going to help education. And how much of that money, for what you're saying, over the years,
Yeah.
it should be billions of dollars.
Absolutely.
Well, who's going to talk about it?
Well, I'm calling them out.
That's good.
I'm calling our governor out. They want to know who is this trustee board member in Dallas ISD that's calling the governor out. He's not too big to be called out. Well, he needs to understand he needs to fund public education, and he's pushing vouchers. You know, the vouchers will put public education out of business. So he's trying to either bankrupt, or even paralyze public education. Now, we understand a gun got into our school.
Yeah.
But we also understand that this is also from a lack of funding. You can't put unfunded and underfunded mandates on public education. It's like me telling my son to go in the kitchen and get something to eat, but I have not provided food for him. That's what the governor is doing.
Do vouchers pass next session, do you think, in January?
You know, I'm hearing that there's a possibility because he's politicking and trying to put his people in place to get it done. But that's the wrong idea. He needs to fund public education, and I'm going to continue to see it until it happens. Stop being so obsessed with vouchers and do right. He's failing kids. He's failing kids.
You talk about the unfunded mandates. I've heard from, I know you have too, you guys are living it, but from so many school districts, larger ones, who say, listen, we couldn't ramp up and get enough armed security on staff, and we got to, you know, they don't pay enough. I believe the state allocated, what, 40 or 50,000?
I think it was for security, 15,000.
Okay, so there's a lot you got to make up. The districts have to make up per campus then. So
And
that's
some
another
can't.
one of the unfunded mandates then?
Yep, and some of them can't in our rural areas. Some of them just can't do it. So this has been a conversation that I've been having with the community and trying my best to educate them on what's going on. And now people, antennas are up, people are reading more, and that's the job of the trustee to educate our community and our district. And so, again, this is something that's tragic. We've seen this statewide. We've seen this happen in Plano, gun got in school, Mansfield. We've seen it across the state of
Everywhere,
Texas, and he's not doing anything about it.
And let me ask, I'm going to do something, people might not like it. The kid that had the gun, that did the shooting, where is he?
From what I read on the news, and he's still incarcerated. Now, I don't know if he's still in jail.
All right.
But
Now, the gun got into the school, and Jason, I'm one that would think that, how did he get to school? That's the first thing.
I have no idea whether he
And
walked, whether he got dropped
yeah.
off, whether it was a bus. I have no idea.
All right. Because, you know, we got to get, before the gun got into school, how did the gun get to school? From the house? From his house? Was he driven to school? That means he got it from the house. That means he had it in the car. That means that he came to the school with it. And that's where we got to backtrack in order to resolve the problem. My house, for example, and my daughter, her wife, I knew everything in my house. You know everything in your house?
Yeah.
You know what toys your kids got and what's in their drawers, and what's in the closet. What I'm saying, that's what the parent, you know, if we're going to resolve it, it just can't be resolved at the front door. We have to catch that gun before. They don't need it at home. They didn't have it planted out in the weeds at the school. They didn't have it out in the bushes at home. The weather would rust the gun and everything else.
Right.
So the gun got to be in the house. If we're gonna be fair and we're gonna be right, let's start from where the gun came from. Same thing they did up in was it Michigan?
Ohio or Indiana,
Ohio.
Michigan, something like that. That was amazing that they charged. Remember that school shooting happened a year or two ago?
Right,
They just
yeah.
charged the parents.
Right.
And both
Yeah, I heard
parents
about that
got-
charge, parents, yeah.
Got,
Well, you got to be a little tougher
Got
with
prison
the parent
time.
that will.
Yeah.
Now, you know, you that kid is your responsibility. You know, you're the parent's kid. The kid is not your best friend.
Right.
And then you sit and you have to deal with your end, and that is secure the school. And that's what you're doing. But we also got to educate these parents, and we got to put a little bit more on the parent. I just want to say that. I mean, we got a trustee right here, man.
Might as well say it now.
Might as well say it
Yeah,
now.
you got an audience.
Might as well tell them to put the prayer back in school, put the paddle back in school. You know, they talking about don't hit my child. Beat the hell out of mine if you're out of line. Well, I'm just telling you. That's
That's
just
old
me.
school. They ain't doing that no
That is
more.
way old
That's
school.
old school.
But here's the deal.
Don't date yourself.
But
everybody.
here's the deal. You can't let one child ruin the education for 39 others. You know, if you got a bad kid, then let his parents come and get him, and y'all take him and do whatever you want to do with him. But we're going to educate these other 39. Now, old school and old remedies worked then, and they can still work today. But under the current circumstances that we are dealing with, you know, we've gotten too soft, and we're paying for the problem. We never took guns to school. We never even had a gun at the house.
The times has changed.
Well, times changing, but sometimes you got to change it back.
Grandmother, when I grew up, was 60 and 70. Now grandmother's like 30 and 40.
Well, that's because of
And
what's
that's what's going on.
No, and that is
Wow, I
true.
didn't think about that, yeah.
And that's why I said we got to do some educating with them, okay? And you know, in some future points, in the future, we got to talk about this kind of stuff.
Well, have me back on then.
We'll have you back on.
All right.
Well, listen, I want you to get a chance to put your word out. I want Jason to get a chance to hear it, and I want the public to get a chance to hear it and see it, because we need the public. I want the public to know, y'all take your behinds to the PTA meetings, and stop having PTA meetings with everybody. And this is all City Hall too. Stop having the people to go out and call meetings, and just 3 of y'all show up. Okay, you got to show up. Your voice. Hey, let us hear your voice. Anything else you want to say? Because I'm finna close this
Tell them
out.
come to the board meetings. We need them to come to the board meetings. Speak truth to power. I tell them all day, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to speak truth to power.
Yeah.
I'm going to let them know what's going on. We're not going to hide it. I told Dallas ISD we can't cover it up. We have to clean it up. And that's my message.
How about that? What you got
That's-
some closing thoughts?
That's pretty strong. You should come to me first. I can't come out behind him now.
Well, you can't.
As somebody who covers politics, I'd only say, always vote because elections have consequences. They have consequences.
Jason, look, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, man. It's good to
Hey,
see you
look,
again,
yeah,
man.
we're gonna fix this up right.
Let me know.
You're gonna be proud. Okay. Appreciate
Good to see
you.
you, man. Yeah.
Good to see
to see
you. See you.
Yes, sir.
All right, like that ring.
That's that South Oak Cliff.
I got one just
championship.
like it.
Okay.
I got one just like it. I got one just like
Where's
it.
yours? You don't wear
I don't have it on today because I'm wearing.
You're not going to
silver.
represent the SOC?
Yeah, he know I do. They put my name on my ring.
Did they really?
Yeah, no, tell him.
nice.
Trustee.
That's name on
I
the front.
believe it. I
Yeah,
believe it.
they said all the good things that I'm doing and have done.
Yeah.
They wanted me to. They presented me with a ring, championship ring.
That's nice. That's a nice ring.
But one thing about it, when I was married in 2011, and the Dallas Mavericks won the NBA championship, they never gave me a ring. So you tell Mark Cuban
Yeah.
that I'm still waiting.
You got an open finger there ready, huh?
Well, you know, I got the Mavericks. The reason they hadn't won another championship.
The Dwayne Caraway curse. It's the
Yeah,
Caraway
that's,
curse.
that's exactly what it is. They didn't give me a ring. Now,
It's the
Mark,
Caraway
give me the
curse.
ring so we can go back and win again. Okay? This is the other side with DC. Subscribe, like, and make sure you share. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Trustee Maxie Johnson. We'll talk at you all a little later. All right?
You would be a little